Maricica Irina Cornici was 23 years old when she died, and there was nothing mysterious about her life before the monastery. She was not violent, not delusional, not unstable by medical standards. She had grown up in poverty, spent time in state care, and eventually sought stability in religion. In 2005, she joined the Tănacu Monastery in Romania, a remote Orthodox convent led by a priest named Daniel Corigianu. Those who knew her described her as quiet, deeply religious, and emotionally fragile, but functional. There were no diagnoses of psychosis, possession, or danger. What came later was not sudden madness. It was a slow collapse, misinterpreted as evil. The first signs were panic attacks, fainting episodes, and moments of confusion. Maricica complained of headaches, exhaustion, and fear. She said she felt watched, followed, and overwhelmed. Today, doctors would likely diagnose severe anxiety, depression, or trauma-related dissociation. Instead, the monastery interpreted her distress through a spiritual lens. When she became agitated during prayer and resisted religious discipline, the priest concluded she was possessed. No psychiatric treatment was pursued. No hospital admission was requested. The decision was made entirely within the monastery walls. The exorcism did not begin as violence. It began as isolation. Maricica was restrained because she resisted prayers. She was accused of being controlled by demonic forces. According to court testimony, she was tied with ropes to prevent movement. Over time, restraint escalated. Eventually, she was bound to a wooden cross laid flat on the ground, her arms and legs stretched and immobilized. A gag was placed in her mouth to stop her from screaming, biting, or speaking during prayers. This is not speculation. These details were confirmed during the criminal trial. For days, Maricica was kept in this state. She was denied food. She was denied water. The priest and nuns testified that this was part of the ritual, meant to weaken the demon. In reality, it weakened her body rapidly. Witnesses later admitted she cried, begged, and pleaded to be released. She struggled against the restraints until exhaustion overcame her. Her breathing became labored. Her pulse weakened. Still, the prayers continued. The violence was not explosive. It was prolonged. Her body was immobilized for hours at a time. Her gag prevented normal breathing and swallowing. She was left lying on the cross while rituals were repeated. Autopsy findings later showed severe dehydration, exhaustion, and physical stress consistent with prolonged restraint. There were no signs of drugs, poison, or sudden trauma. Her death came not from a single blow, but from systematic neglect and abuse, justified as faith. At some point during the ritual, Maricica stopped responding. She did not scream. She did not fight. She simply became still. The people around her believed this meant the demon was weakening. In reality, her organs were failing. Her body had reached a point where survival was no longer possible without immediate medical intervention. Instead of calling emergency services, the ritual continued. When she finally lost consciousness, it was not treated as a medical emergency. It was treated as spiritual progress. When Maricica Irina Cornici was pronounced dead, panic replaced certainty. Authorities were called only after it was clear she could not be revived. An autopsy was performed. The findings were clear and devastating. Cause of death was dehydration, exhaustion, and suffocation risk, linked to prolonged restraint and gagging. There was no evidence of supernatural forces. There was no medical mystery. The body told a simple story. A young woman, restrained, starved, and left without care until her systems shut down. The Romanian justice system did not treat this as a religious misunderstanding. It treated it as homicide. Priest Daniel Corigianu and several nuns were arrested, charged, and put on trial. During testimony, the priest defended his actions, stating he believed he was saving her soul. The court rejected that argument. In 2007, He was convicted and sentenced to prison. The nuns involved also received prison sentences. The ruling stated clearly that religious belief did not excuse fatal abuse. What makes this case especially disturbing is not just the death, but how ordinary it was. There were no secret cults, no hidden rituals, no underground ceremonies. This happened in a registered monastery, under the authority of a recognized religious figure in modern Europe. Medical help was available. Authorities could have been contacted. Every step toward violence was a choice. After the trial, the monastery was effectively shut down. The priest was defrocked. The case became an international symbol of how belief can override reason when suffering is misinterpreted as evil. Yet even today, debates continue, with some defenders insisting Maricica was possessed. The court records, autopsy, and eyewitness testimony leave no room for ambiguity. She was not killed by a demon. She was killed by restraint, starvation, and refusal to accept medical reality. Maricica Irina Cornici did not die screaming in a moment of chaos. She died slowly, restrained to a cross, surrounded by people who believed they were helping her. Her death stands as one of the clearest examples of how exorcism, when unchecked by medicine or law, can become lethal. This case is not legend. It is searchable. It is documented. And it is a warning written in court transcripts and prison sentences, not scripture. This was not a battle between good and evil. It was a human body pushed past survival in the name of belief. And this is only the first case.